Good evening, America. Today is Sunday, the 30th of July. We're going to start off with Psalms 101, which I don't know it by heart like I did Psalms 100, but it is also a short song, and it is all read for discipleship. It is a psalm of King David. And the psalmist's commitment to walk with God. That is what Psalm 101 is about, walking with God. Um, let's begin. This is a song written by King David. I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. 2. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. O when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Amen. 3. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. 4. A forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. A forward heart is one that is quick to think bad about a person, especially if they are unhappy with you. That becomes a person with a forward heart. They become angry, they say things, they behave in certain ways, and anger should never dominate our behavior to a certain extent. Yes, it's okay to be angry. Yes, it is okay to not like that which someone has said to you, but no, it is not okay to have a forward heart against that individual. No, it is not okay to disregard that individual, especially if that individual is someone important to you. Whether it be your grandparents, your parents, your spouse, your children, all of these individuals may say things to you that you may not like, but that does not give you the right to have a forward heart against them. That does not mean that you should not want to have anything to do with them. That does not mean that gives you the right to say something ill about them to others, especially in front of the younger generation, which may be their grandparents. That does not give you that right to keep a forward heart, America. We have enough people with forward hearts and forward mouths in this world today, and this is why we have such an alarming rate of violence all across the land. Okay, so please mark your words and please keep your emotions in check. Okay, because like I said to you all the time, respect is something that you give to people automatically. It is not something that they have to earn from you. Okay? So don't grab a hold of the wisdom of the world, which is worthless. Okay? Take a hold of the wisdom of God, because that will help you to keep your emotions in check. And that will also help you to keep your words in check, because your words come from your heart and they should never be from a forward heart. I had to stop for a minute to say that to you because I hear it all the time and it's not proper. Okay, so a forward for verse Psalms 101 verse 4 says, a forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Okay, when you have a forward heart, you are no different than the wicked man next to you who has done something that is super wicked. You have to differentiate yourself from among the wicked. And this is what the wicked do. So if you are among the people of God, you are not going to keep a forward heart. You are not going to keep your feelings on your sleeves. You are not going to do these things because these things will help you to say the wrong things out of your mouth to the wrong people. It doesn't matter what you say to your enemy once they show themselves to be your enemy. It doesn't even matter what you do to them, especially if they're trying to harm you. But it does matter what you say to those individuals in your life who are important. It does matter what you say to your spouses. It does matter what you say to your children. It does matter what you say about your parents. And it does matter what you say to those in authority, whether you like them or not. A lot of people don't like police officers because of their experience with police officers. A lot of people don't like black folks because of their experience with black folks. A lot of people don't like white people because of their experience with white people. Stop blaming other people for your bad experiences. Just because you had a bad experience with a white man or a white woman doesn't mean that all white people are the same. Just because you've had a bad experience with a black man or a black woman doesn't mean that all brown people are the same. Okay? You ran into one of Lucifer's very own. He happened to be white. He happened to be black. Okay, don't cast all the rest of us in that same category you put that individual on. Because we are not all black simply because we're brown. Okay, some of us are Haitian. Some of us are African. Some of us are Latinos. Some of us are another ethnic group. We are not all the same. We do not bite. We do not, we are not cruel. So mark your words, America, and watch what you say to people. Watch what you do, because what you do reflects the community that you live in. It reflects the nation that you live in, and it's not proper. It is not proper to have a forward heart or a forward mouth. It will alienate people from you. People who love you will back away from you because of your heart and your mouth. I had to stop to speak those words to you, America, because it is happening too much when it shouldn't happen at all. Let's continue. Father God, help me. A forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. 5. Whoso privately slanders his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that has a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. And don't be so quick to slander your neighbor. Don't be so quick to slander your parents. So what, you're not happy with them? That does not give you the right to slander them. Don't do it in the presence of their grandchildren, because they have ears and they can hear what you're saying in regards to their grandparents. You are not to speak things like that in the presence of the children, because one day the tides will turn, and everything that you say in front of those kids will return back unto you. It will return back unto you whether you like it or not. I don't care what kind of parent you think you are. Some people think that they're better parents than their parents. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing. You have to be a perfect individual to be a perfect parent. You must be perfect to make no mistakes. So watch how you speak in the presence of the children. Father, I can't seem to get past verse 4. Okay. A forward heart shall depart from me, and I will not know a wicked person. Excuse me, Father. 5. Whoso privately slander his neighbor, him I will cut off. Him that has a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Many of us have a high look and a high look and a proud heart. Like we're so much better than the person we're speaking illy about. You are no better than that person you are speaking illy about. Five, whoso privately slander his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that has high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. This is King David speaking. The wisdom of God. Okay. 6. My eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. 7. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I don't want anybody around me that slanders anybody. Whether they're my sons or daughters, it don't matter. Anybody that knows me on a personal level, I can't stand for people to slander other people. Yes, you don't like them. Yes, they might have said something rude to you, but don't do that. Don't do that. Don't scoop that low to their level. Don't do that. Just say, I'm not happy with the words they spoke to me. Say something like that. But don't retaliate. Don't do that. That's what your children are learning. And whatever you speak out of your mouth, those children are recording in their hearts. And they will give it back to you in just a few years when they become teenagers. Don't hang out with people who lie all the time. Drop them like they're hot. You know that phrase. Drop them like they are hot. Anybody who's always cursing and who's always got something negative to say, drop them like they're hot. You don't need that kind of feedback. That friendship is worthless. Don't hang around liars and deceitful individuals. What will they do? They will pull you down. And after a while, you'll start behaving just like they're behaving. You'll start speaking just like they're speaking. If you hang out with a person who goes to the barber shop all the time and your hair is long, sooner or later, you're going to get your hair cut. Watch who you spend your time with and watch what comes out of your mouth. Don't make that heart a forward heart. It's unattractive, both male and female. And I don't care what nationality you are. It's an unattractive thing. 8, the last verse. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. And that is the beautiful song of 101 written by King David. Okay, we're going into, we've been talking about the wrath of God all year long. I've broken it down into sections. Then we started talking about hatred. Hatred is a little tiny 4-letter word, but it makes a big difference in the attitudes of the nation. It has no discrimination. Hatred does not discriminate. Okay? And it can be felt by everyone. It can be displayed by everyone. You can be the object of hatred, or you could be the person who is committing the hatred act or saying the hatred words. But hatred is it has its place. Okay? Like, God hates evil, we should hate evil. God hates wicked, we should hate wicked. Whatever God hates, that we should hate. That's a good thing. To hate whatever God hates. That's if you believe in God. Okay? We're reading about Esther today because we're reading about hatred going beyond the person that you know personally, going beyond the ethnic group that you don't like very well, going beyond the race that you don't like very well. It goes beyond that. It even goes into politics. Okay? Our own nation experienced that this year. They were going to um, play in this charity like activity or recreation, all the politicians this year. We're up there by Arlington, Virginia. And in the midst of what they were doing, it was for a charity. They do it every year. And doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, everybody takes part in it because it's for a benefit of some kind, a charity of some kind. So they all get together. It doesn't matter whether you're black or white. Doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or whatever other political branches there are. It doesn't matter. You can. All you have to do is be among the politicians and come and take part. They do it every year. In the midst of this, somebody with a whole lot of hatred in his heart started shooting at the innocent individuals. They just started shooting, Lord God. And God is so good that He knows what's going to happen before it happens. Okay? He is so good that He will place His people in place so that when everything kicks off, whoever those He has selected to deal with this individual were already in place. Okay? Everybody was doing their thing. The shooting came out of nowhere. But those that God had in place did what they were supposed to do. They were ordained to do this. They were ordained to stop this individual. Okay. But like the world does all the time, they give all the glory to the ones that were selected by God to deal with this individual. God never gets the glory anymore. And it just is so unfair that God never gets the glory for anything He does for man. Anything He does for man. They give the glory to the ones who dealt with the individual when the glory should have went to God for having those individuals there. Okay? So my point is, hatred does not discriminate. It does not. And if God does His part, we ought to do our part and give Him what? What is our part? Just give Him the glory. All of it. Not a portion of it, all of it. This story we're going to read about has that same level of hate. It is a political situation in the biblical time. Okay? And in the biblical times, things were done so differently. I wish I'd have been born during that time, Lord God. That's a different story now. Let me not complain. I'm glad to be born, but I just wish the Lord would have gave me my time during the time my Lord walked on this earth instead of this time. Okay, we're going to be reading about Esther. But since I don't recall reading the introduction to Esther. I can always tell by the PowerPoints. I did not read this to you guys. We're going to get an introduction into Esther this morning. Who is the author? Unknown. Like I said to you many times before, there are more unknown prophets in the Bible than there are known prophets. And those that were unknown prophets have very important jobs, just as the known prophets did. There are also many unknown writers. Many of those wrote many of the Psalms and in the book of Psalms. And the book of Psalm only has 150 of those songs. There's actually 3,000 songs, but only 150 of them made it into the Bible. There are 3,000 of them. Okay? And this particular book is written by an unknown writer. They do know the dates between 485 and 435 BC, before Christ. Time span about 10 years, that is. Title: from the book's chief character, Esther, who is a Jewish lady. Background: the story of Esther takes place during that period of time between the separation return to Jerusalem led by Zerubbabel and Ezra, between chapters 6 and 7 of the books of Ezra. Please forgive my pronunciation. I don't apologize for it. It's part of me. But I'm pretty sure you can make out what it is I'm trying to say. After 70 years of captivity, about 50,000 Israelites returned to their homeland of Jerusalem, but the vast majority determined to remain in Persia. Esther's story takes place against this background while in the king's palace at Shushan, which is the Persian capital. Ruth and Esther are the only books of the Bible named after women. Ruth and Esther, and both of these women are godly women. Both of them. I wish I had them as sisters of mine or daughters of mine or grandmothers of mine. I just wish I could claim them. They're that special. And though I live in this world today, I know some special women, but they are not related to me. They are friends. I wish my bloodline ran through their bloodline. Okay, Ruth and Esther, they're not related to me, but I wish I was related to them somehow. Okay, are the only books of the Bible named after women. Esther is a Jewish woman who marries a Gentile. Ruth is a Gentile who marries a Jew. Okay? Where written unknown, probably Persia. To whom? To the Jews who remain in Persia instead of returning to Jerusalem. Contents: Esther, whose Jewish heritage has been kept a secret, a chosen queen of King Ahasuerus of Persia, after Vesta is demoted from the same position. Haman, an evil advisor of the king, plans to exterminate the Jewish people. But Esther has the faith and courage to carry out the plan of her wise cousin Mordecai. and risk her very life, which results in the deliverance of the Jewish people. The Feast of Purim is instituted to remind the people of God's deliverance. Even to this day, there is a public reading of the book of Esther during this celebration. Key words in the book of Esther is beauty, prevalence. God has blessed Esther with much outward physical beauty, so she was a very beautiful lady. Okay? But it is the beauty of her heart that sets her apart for the providence of God to be shown. Okay, so even though she might have been beautiful on the outside, her heart was even more beautiful than her outward appearance. That's why I wanted to be among her bloodline. Okay, if I don't have her outer beauty, her inner beauty is worth just the same. It's worth more. Okay, the beauty of her heart is worth more than the beauty of her outer appearance. Okay. It is not by choice that this Jewish girl rises from total obscurity to become the queen of the most powerful empire of the world. The name of God does not appear once in the book of Esther, but God's prevalence, care, and leading are not to be denied. Okay. Themes. These are PowerPoints that don't need to be proven in America. We've gone through this all year long. This is not your first introduction. Theme. God may have, theme number one, God may have bigger plans for our lives than we have for ourselves. And this is so true. God may have bigger plans for our lives than we have for ourselves. Okay. I have seen this played out in the lives of my family, in the lives of the family of others. I have seen it played out. And oftentimes, that which the Lord has for us is greater than what we have for ourselves. That which the Lord has selected for us to do is greater than that which we select to do on our own. Okay? God may have bigger plans for our lives than we have for ourselves. Number one. Number two. God may put us into position of leadership or influence so we can more thoroughly accomplish his purpose. This is true. Okay? He puts you in the right place at the right time. All right? God's answer prayers and fasting by enabling us to overcome our human obstacles. Amen. God provisionally provides for his own. He does. God uses ordinary people to accomplish extraordinary things for him. He does. God at times may have to discipline us, but he will never abandon us. He does, and he will never. Your natural parents will abandon you quicker than God. Your natural parents will take a look at you when you pop out of their womb and either toss you in the trash can for the garbage man to hear, or try to put you in a box in the middle of the street for someone to run over, or take care of the situation themselves and throw you in the microwave and cook you and kill you themselves. These are the parents that you are born to. But our God is a better parent than that. He will never abandon you. And just as soon as your parents toss you to the curb, the Lord picks you up. That's my storyline. And I'm glad he picked me up. Okay, that's the introduction. Okay, so let's go to Esther chapter 3, where we're supposed to be. I wanted to do 4, but the Lord said we must do 3. So 3 is where we will go. Okay? What's going on in chapter 3? Haman plots to have all the Jews killed. This is the guy who is working beside the king. Okay? He's the chosen man to work beside the king. Okay? But he is doing all this plotting. Okay? and we're going to hear all about it. It has a lot of silver here for history, blue for salvation. It is a very short verse. I pray that the Lord may allow us to go into chapter 4 tomorrow and tie them both together, because you won't understand it completely just with one chapter. We must read both chapters together, and we must read chapter 3 first, according to the will of God. Okay, so let's begin. And I have it also from this book. Yeah. So we're going to be flip-flopping from my Bible to this Bible that you know I don't like very well. Haman plots to have all the Jews killed. Verse 1. After these things, that King Ahasuerus promotes Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advised him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. So he made him his second man in command. Okay, he's just promoted. Okay, and this man has secrets that the king is not aware of yet. 2. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king has so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did he reverence him. Okay, Mordecai is a Jewish guy, and he already has peeped this man's card. Okay, some people, it's called having the spirit of discernment. Some people can literally walk by you and tell whether you are good or evil, or most evil. And let me tell you, America, when you walk by, you can feel it like an invisible vibe. And when you walk by someone who is not evil, but most evil, you will stop where you're standing and stare at that individual until they walk out of your sight. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth in the name of Jesus Christ. Okay? You can sense the evil in people. You can sense it. You can pick it up. It's like an invisible spiritual radar. And when you come across that which is most evil, you will stop where you at and stare at that individual until they're out of your sight. That's how it happens. Okay, Mordecai was that type of individual. Okay, he peeped that man's car. All right, 3. The king's servant, which was in the king's gate, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandments? Okay, 4. Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai matters would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. Okay, all right. Sometimes it's best to just keep your mouth quiet. But Mordecai did not. He decided to let the man know that he was Jewish. All right, so let's read it from here. Haman undertakes to destroy the Jews. I'm going to read it from here, from this Bible here, which I don't like very much, but it's more important to me that you understand what's being said to you. After these things, King Ahasuerus promoted Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, and advised him, and set his seat above all the officials who were with him. 2. And all the king's servants who were at the king's gate bowed down and did obedience to Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. The king thought of him very highly, but Mordecai did not bow down or obedience. 3. Then the king's servants who were at the king's gate said to Mordecai, why do you disobey the king's commandments? 4. When they spoke to him day after day, and he would not listen to them, they told Haman in order to see whether Mordecai's words would avail, for he had told them that he was Jewish. Okay, let's go back here to verse 5 and 6. And it says, and when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did he reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. So they upset Haman, okay, because he had no regard for the man. He had no respect for him. He refused to bow down to him, okay, so that was wrong. He should have, okay. It doesn't matter how you don't like the individual. He is a man of authority. You should have paid respects to him, okay. Okay, he kind of started this thing going by his forward heartness, Mordecai. Okay? And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not nor did his reverence him, then he was full of wrath. 6. And he thought scorns to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. See, this is what happens when you are disrespectful. This is what happens. Had you showed the man some respect, this probably wouldn't have happened. Okay? So he was disrespectful from the beginning. He didn't share this with Esther. Okay? Now the man is so warped, he wants to get rid of all the Jews. Okay? This is why I say it is important to be respectful to those who are in authority. He didn't say, they didn't say you had to pray to him like he was a god. You just had to show him some respect. Okay? In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, he cast pur, that is, the lot, before Haman from day to day, from month to month, to the 12th month, that is, the month Adar. 8 to 11 is black. So let's take this here to 8. When Haman saw that Mordecai did not bow down or do obedience to him, Haman was infuriated. But he thought it beneath him to lay hands on Mordecai alone. So having been told who Mordecai's people were, Haman plotted to destroy all the Jews, the people of Mordecai, throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, the king. 7. In the first month, which is the month of Nisan, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast pur, which means the lot, before Haman for the day and for the month, and a lot fell on the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. 8. Let's take it from here. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the prevalence of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people, neither keep they the king's laws. Therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hand of those that have the charge of the business, to bring it into the king's treasure. 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, the Jews' enemy. 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemed good to thee. Okay, let's take it from here. Then Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered and separated among the people in all the prevalence of your kingdom. Their laws are different from those of every other person, and they do not keep the king's law, so that it is not appropriate for the king to tolerate them. 9. If it please the king, let a decree be issued for their destruction, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver unto the hand of those who have charge of the king's business, so that they may be put into the king's treasury. 10. So the king took his segment signet ring from his hand that all kings wore at the time. He had his own, and gave it to Haman, son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the enemy of the Jews. 11. The king said to Haman, the money is given to you and the people as well, to do with them as it seems good to you. Okay. 12. This is a short verse. We're almost at the end. Tomorrow it gets even more interesting. Okay. This is what comes about when you have a forward heart. Okay. Then 12. When the king's scribe called on the 13th day of the first month, which is Nisan, remember? On the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants, and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people of every province, according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, in the name of King Ahasuerus was it written, and sealed with the king's ring. 13. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's province, to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day, even upon the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month Adar, and take the spoils of them for a prey. 14. The copy of the writing for a commandment to be given in every province was published unto all the people, that they shall be ready against that day. 15. The post went out, being hastened by the king's commandments, and decree was given in Shusha, the palace, and the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city Shusha was perplexed. Okay, let's take it from here. From 11, from 12. Then the king's secretaries were summoned on the 13th day of the first month, and an edict, according to all the Haman commanded, was written to the king's satrap and to the governors over all the provinces, and to the officials of all the people, to every province in its own script, and every person in its own language. It was written in the name of King Ahasuerus, and sealed with the king's ring. 13. Letters were sent by courier to all the king's provinces, giving orders to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate all Jews, young and old, women and children, in one day, the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to plunder their goods. 14. A copy of the document was to be issued as a decree in every province by proclamation, calling on all the people to be ready for that day. 15. The carrier went quickly by order of the king, and the decree was issued in the citadel of Shusha. The king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shusha was thrown into confusion. I guess so. All this came about because one man, Mordecai, could not show the respect to the new commanding officer of the king. All of this would have been probably never happened had he had not had a forward heart. Okay? Now they must go to another Jew who is close to the king to stop this situation. But it was brought about by one man's forward heart. What does it take to show respect to someone if they're in power? So what? They're black, they're white, they're Chinese, who cares? They're non-Jews, who cares? It was the king's choice. All you had to do was show the man some respect. Look at what it caused. Sheer destruction, full force. And if you think it can't happen to you, it can. That's the result of a forward heart. So mark your words, America. Mark your heart, America. Rethink your thoughts, America. Because a forward heart is worthless in this world. And so is a forward mouth. Okay? I hope you understood what was going on in this chapter so far. If I live and nothing happens, we will continue with chapter 4 tomorrow, if it is the Lord's will. All right, okay. In the meantime, as always, I pray that the peace of God be upon you, the protection of God surround you, and the will of God for your life come from thee. Until the next time, join me here again at Spiritual Water. My name is Brenda Guerrero, so that we can finish this wonderful story about Queen Esther. Thank you and have a very wonderful day.